guys! Hey, welcome to another episode of The Harbor Site. We're still getting this thing started, but nonetheless, I want to welcome Mr. Johnny Slicks.
Hello.
And Mr. Errol Bellinger. Yep. Are you even allowed? Do we have to blur your face like the entire video?
We'll see how much trouble I get in.
Mute his voice.
And of course, the talented Miss Capra will be the producer on the show and kind of driving the discussion. Before we get started, we are still not monetizing the channel, so if you would like to help us out, we actually created a Harbor Site Patreon. The link's below. Check that out and support the channel if you like it. And then, do all the like, share, subscribe. I'm sure everybody's going to ask when we're having Cody Alford back, when he's done being, what did I say? Homeless?
No, living in a van.
Living in a van down by the river?
Down by the river.
When he's done doing that and he's back in North Carolina, we'll have him on the show. So,
do we pause for like the Harbor Site intro song? Do we have a...
have you made that yet?
I was thinking we could. I could even sing it. We could play a banjo or something.
Do we have a Harbor Site?
We need one. That's what I'm getting.
You need to edit over sitting on the dock of the bay and be like, sitting on the harbor site.
You do love that song.
All right.
This is beefy. Are you ready?
We're talking about it. What are we talking about?
Okay, so Kanye West did lunch with President Trump Thursday, but preempted the meal with a wildly entertaining and decidedly bizarre press conference in which he covered Superman, the 13th and the Second Amendments, North Korea, his budding magma bromance with the Commander-in-Chief. West began the much-anticipated sit-down by praising Trump's efforts in North Korea and saying, "One day you'll solve one of Obama's biggest troubles. We've solved one of the biggest problems."
So we just saw this. We went to the gym this morning, and I was on the bike warming up, and that was on the news, and I was like, I thought it was a joke.
We were like...
Everything seems like a joke with him, though.
They were like snuggling.
Up and it's like,
Kanye West.
is this Saturday Night Live? Like, is this a script?
If he don't look good, we don't look good. This is our president. He has to be the freshest, the flyest.
Which part being a joke, like him meeting with the president, or him?
Yeah,
him
being
at the presidential table, like
Oval Office.
yeah,
Yes.
like,
Gavel in hand.
Yes.
like, cussing. Yeah, I was like,
Well,
it's nuts.
Kim was there how long ago prior to that?
I don't watch this stuff, so I have no idea about
Celebrity
what's
status.
Well, let's just talk about this. The last time he had anything to do, like, major in the limelight with politics, he was, like, chastising Bush and saying that Bush didn't care about black people because of Hurricane Katrina and what was going on, and that nobody was...
Yeah, he's crazy. He's, like, anti-American.
Well, I wouldn't call him crazy. Well, he
was.
Yeah, but when you label someone crazy, everything that comes out
I'm not
of your
talking
mouth
about
is
it.
not like...
I'm not talking about
believe it.
his music or anything, but, like...
No, him as a, like, him personally, not like who he pretends to be for media, not like who he is what you're talking about.
Yes, he says some crazy things.
He says crazy things.
There we go.
I wouldn't call him crazy, though, because then no one can ever take him seriously for anything he ever does.
But this is pretty wild.
It's like a step out of what we all thought he would.
You brought up a good point earlier.
This morning?
Yeah.
Are you talking about him being brainwashed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about
We'd have to show a clip, though.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
we'll
do
show
that. So just
No, I have the notes.
Well, this is the thing. Like, here's the biggest things with all these points, and it's what I wanted to kind of go over. There's, like, a left thought on this. There's a right thought on this. There's an independent thought on this. And then there's a conspiracy theorist.
Well, I mean, overall, I know, like, as far as the veteran community goes, I would say per capita, like, he's not very liked in the veteran community.
Or wasn't.
Or wasn't at up until today.
Kanye.
I bet you that's changed over the years. I bet while you're coming up in the Marine Corps, that statement would hold true. However, today, 100% different. You gotta think, they're growing up in this atmosphere. 18, 17-year-olds, 20-year-olds serving their country, listening to this. I bet you 180 degrees difference.
That's true. That's true. I somewhere slipped and got old. I don't know when that happened, but it happened.
So it was in 2016. He was placed in the hospital, and then as the video shows, Trump like you see Kanye walking in. Everyone's taking pictures. Blah blah blah. He just walks in.
This is the hospital.
Yeah, to the hospital, and then the next time that they're all filming, you see the elevator come down. He's coming down, and Trump is with him. But the thing is that nobody like really caught Trump going in.
But this is
like bizarre.
This is also during the election time, right?
Yeah, it was during like the major like when people were like Hillary's gonna win, like the stats were showing like whatever. And then he comes down and he was like completely not Kanye anymore. He was like a robot, and you can see in the footage.
They were asking him questions.
They were asking him like questions about just like it's hard to hear too, but you can see Trump's good with answering questions, So like when someone asks him a question, he usually puts on a smile. He answers the question.
Right.
You could tell that he knew the question wasn't for him because he was just smiling at pictures and stuff like that. And Kanye was just like staring off into like space, like and looking at the universe,
And what did he say at the end? I'm just
here for the photos, or he's like, let's just take some pictures, or something like that. He did. I forget
that was
honestly,
it.
I forget what he said.
And then walked off.
But like, it was so weird behavior because he's normally like, cameras on him. He has to like act out or do something that matches like his personal agenda or something. Like with Katrina that was on Saturday Night Live, right?
Yeah.
When he did that, yeah. Bush doesn't care about black people, but normally he's not like quiet, like spaced off, and you could see Trump saying, "We've been long friends, lifetime friends. We've been friends for a while now." But it's just the thing that was strange, I think, was that nobody caught footage of Trump going in. They only had him coming down with Kanye.
Which he could have come in anyway, like Secret Service,
but it's like the paparazzi. They're usually on it.
It was pretty weird. It was like watching that clip. It was like he went into an elevator, one person, and then they Men in Blacked him. And then
on the way down.
On the way down,
the press was still there, so it wasn't like days later. It wasn't weeks later. It was like
he went in for his Men in Black procedure. Trump was like, "I got you."
Yeah, he went.
You guys are the same dudes who believe Avril Lavigne is a robot nowadays.
No, I don't.
No, she is not a robot. She's not. What?
I don't follow her.
Let's hold on. Let's stay on track.
This is not what this is for.
Let's stay on track here. We'll discuss that later.
Okay. Next.
So here's the thing, though. Like that's obviously like a conspiracist sort of like maybe the Illuminati got him, and he's like got a handler, or maybe Trump is his handler, or something like that. That's that side, right? I just think it's interesting. Like if you go into like I was watching a lot of this in CNN, and all black media and politics are calling him like Trump's token Negro. He's there to just be there for like pictures with Trump and all this stuff, and they're making fun of him, and they basically are just saying he's an attention whore, so he'll do whatever just to get something on the opposite side. But when he speaks, and now NBC cut a lot of the footage so that like you only see weird clips of him saying strange things, but if you watch it all together like on C-SPAN, he says he makes a lot of clear points.
I couldn't believe that was him. I was blown away.
I mean, we watched it today, and we'll show part of it too. But I think the biggest thing that stood out to me for the more of a libertarian thought is that he was basically saying that the way that liberals think and the way that Democratic Party is basically opposed slavery on black people, because they've made it so that black people have to get handouts from the government at all times. And if that's the way that it is now, it's a modern day slavery, is kind of some of his key points, which it's pretty like pretty heavy to say, but it's coming from somebody who lived that way. And he's like, you want to keep getting your handouts from the government, like that's slavery.
You're putting yourself in that position. I
don't know, but with what you started, like how the media is kind of like portraying it and clipping him, it's kind of making him sound crazy, so the average person doesn't believe it.
Yeah, but if like what she said, but if you listen to like the individual statements, like we was talking about gun control, he was talking about racism. I don't know.
Slavery. Like
I don't know what to believe anymore.
The problem is depending on the station you listen to, and it's actually stealing a quote from, I think it was Denzel Washington. If you watch the news, do you choose to be misinformed, or do you not watch the news and you're uninformed? So at what point, what station, you're going to have that bias, the bias in there.
Yeah.
And essentially, you're going to agree with whoever you're looking or you're leaning towards anyway. So if you're a right side, it's called confirmation bias. You're going to start agreeing, oh, that's the shit I'm picking and choosing from. But if you're left leaning, you're going to go to CNN and you're going to be like, oh, that's the shit I'm going to start picking and choosing from.
I think you're talking about, if I look at it from a military intelligence aspect, I think you have to have multiple source reporting, right? So like you have to look at it from like 3 different sources and then say, okay, and then look at your opinion or form your opinion based off those multiple. If like you're looking at one thing and it says this, then that's not accurate. But when we did the research and we looked at it, from multiple sources of different angles, and then all kind of came together on like one cohesive thought, that's when you get, I think, your best opinion. But like you said,
That's a great point.
But like you said, if you're a Republican and you're only watching Fox News, and that's the ingest that you get. If you're only watching CNN, if you're only watching whatever, is MSNBC still a thing? Aren't they pretty they're pretty wazzo all over the place. But I think you have to look at all of them for one particular subject to get a solid.
Yeah, because if you look at the right side and the left side, you piece that together like you're saying, sooner or later you're going to get a whole picture.
Right.
Because if these guys are attacking this way and they're attacking that way, and I just got a full pie right there.
And then take into consideration that like these are very, very wealthy businessmen who knew that it would be a media explosion, and they're like, let's do something to spice things up.
Well, no, and that's 100% the case. Like
Yeah.
if you don't think that's the case, like you're just stupid, because that is 100% like, not to bring up the Nike thing because we'll get into that, but the whole thing with Nike and Kaepernick, is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah.
Like, who did everybody talk about for like 2-3 weeks? They're still talking
What
about
are you talking about right now?
Nike,
Yeah.
right? So the fact that we're even talking about it was smarter on their behalf. But what really threw me for a loop was the words that came out of his mouth, which I'm sure Trump was just sitting back and just going, good job.
He didn't have to say anything.
He didn't say shit.
He really didn't. He like smirked and nodded.
And then he said something and he was like,
Keep
man, I could
talking.
have said it better myself.
Keep talking.
I don't understand. I get that it's a talking point, but at the same time, it's kind of like, at what point are we putting Kanye West in the Oval Office and we're supposed to be paying
What was
attention
that
to this
movie?
shit?
I don't know.
Idiocracy. Remember when Terry Crews?
I still haven't watched
You
that.
haven't watched that movie?
I'm not
Still
gonna
haven't
watch
watched
Dude,
it.
that's what people were saying Kanye is gonna be. I gotta show you. Terry Crews plays like the president of whatever year they're in.
Yeah.
And he's like, everything's a joke. Like nothing matters. Like
It's all
it's hilarious.
BS.
Well,
Yeah.
think about it though. At what
think
point are we
Cardi's runs the
placing a
world.
celebrity having any sort of insight with your average American? They're not.
Yeah.
You think Kanye is living the same life that I am? Fuck no. It's completely
true.
unrealistic.
But
And
we're-
for him to go
but-
in there and I'm supposed to take stock in that, you can pound sand for all I care.
You know that it's like, I mean, like he just said, his whole deal with Adidas, and that they're talking about like they want to bring all the industry back. They want to bring the industry back to the United States, and that's Trump's big stand. Ding, 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 ding.
So, I don't know the timing on this, but Nike signed Kaepernick. Did Adidas sign?
No. He's got deals with Adidas. Like he owns part of Adidas.
Oh, okay. I thought there was something. Did they do a launch or something like simultaneously?
Well,
or?
the biggest thing is that like he watched that happen, and I think like they're headed in a direction to do some shit that way.
Because he brought it up.
Yeah.
And the fact that he
Several times.
even brought it up with
Yeah.
Adidas is like, oh, okay. It's all business.
But we're talking about billionaires here,
Yeah.
and I thought the coolest.
Kanye West is a billionaire.
Yeah, he said it in the thing.
See, that's how he doesn't relate to me. Thanks, man. Why'd you rub that in?
But they talked about a lot of topics, and I think they really didn't touch a whole lot on racism.
That's a move. One of the moves that I love that liberals tried to do, The liberal would try to control a black person through the concept of racism because they know that we are very proud, emotional people. So when I said I like Trump to like someone that's liberal, they'll say, oh, but he's racist. You think racism can control me? Oh, that don't stop me. That's an invisible wall.
What about gun violence with all the debate about the Second Amendment going on?
The problem is illegal guns. Illegal guns is the problem, not legal guns. We have the right to bear arms.
Are we going into the gun thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, am I the most informed on this? Probably not. But the way I look at it is it necessarily just illegal guns? Probably not. Do we have a mental health issue where in America we decide that we're going to issue pills instead of actually treating a problem? I think we have a major issue with that. So at what point, I think that's just too narrow. And he kind of tunnel visioned himself there, where, was he wrong? Fuck no. I guarantee you illegal guns is still an issue, but it's such a it's a broad issue. And at that point, I think there's nothing wrong with Kanye. I mean, the fact is he's very vocal. So even when he came out against Bush, can you really be against the man? He's stating his opinion. Is it do I agree with it always? No. But you gotta respect the man for staying true to him. So if he's going to go out there and voice his opinion and back it to 110%, you know what? For that, I give him respect.
It's just so crazy to hear him say something along the lines of, like we don't have a illegal gun problem. We don't have a legal gun problem. We have an illegal gun problem. When like everything that he has been about over the past years has been 100% opposite of that.
I think what makes it weird is that there was no transition phase.
No, he just like shows up to the Oval Office, or he goes into the elevator, gets Men in Black, and then shows up a couple years later, shows up the Oval Office and just drops on this on everybody. And
and it wasn't like I feel this way. He was like, this is how it is.
Right.
This is the problem. Like he was very, like Errol said, he stood up.
Is it nature versus nurture though at that point? Because
Maybe.
obviously his environment's going to have a factor to play in that, and his viewpoints on all that. So I got no idea. Did his viewpoints change once he got with the Kardashians?
I don't watch the show.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Me
So I'm
neither.
sure I'll see a commercial on it sooner or later.
I'm sure everybody will drop and let us know in the comments.
So these fucktards talking about this shit.
Leave Kanye alone. I feel like you have some viewpoints on gun control here. Well, not gun control, but Kanye's version.
Okay, well, what about this? Military. Not military.
Yeah, go.
What do you think?
About what?
Oh, damn.
Any issue. At this point, I mean, we discussed guns. Then you were leading into fathers within families' welfare. What do you think?
Well, I would say, like, I've heard all the theories about the Illuminati and people using, like, handlers and mind control, and I've heard all the theories about, like, people
I'm not the
being...
crazy guy. You keep pointing at me. I'm not the crazy guy here.
He thinks the Illuminati is
No,
real.
it's just a clip I saw.
There was a guy on Instagram that messaged me and said if I wanted to be a part of it, just to.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
How much was it?
I don't know.
You just need to fill a form?
Yeah, just to fill a form, and then that was it.
I think we're talking about a very wealthy celebrity who has become an even wealthier businessman, who's aligned himself with the most powerful man in the country and has decided to create a little buzz and create a little action and give a little bit more attention to some things. Now, does that mean he's going to get some voters to go in the direction of Trump? Probably. Does it mean that he's going to ruffle some feathers and give like the entire liberal and like black community like light them up and start some like friction? Absolutely. But ultimately, he's probably just going to get wealthier and have more power.
Do you think he flip-flopped on a lot of these issues based off of like Trump? Like Trump's president, so I'm gonna like flip-flop and then
Well, I think like there's probably, I think we might be a little bit confused about the messages he was sending at certain times, like with the whole Katrina thing, and even with the whole Bush presidency, whether you like the guy or not, like he flipped on the war machine and a lot of people were not happy about that. If you're talking about like him taking care and FEMA taking care of people, like we know FEMA's got issues, like we just dealt with it all firsthand in hurricanes. So did he ever say before that he wasn't for guns? I've never heard him say that he was against guns or anti-gun at that point. Like, did he ever say before that he wanted to, like, that he was for welfare being, like, expanded, or did he ever? I don't know. I didn't know his viewpoints before completely, but I do know now he's much wealthier and has a lot more to gain with this guy in office who's going to lower taxes for his tax bracket.
It would be interesting, though, to see Kanye's career after this. And yet, you look at Taylor Swift, who just came out against, was it Montana's or some Missouri's senator?
Oh,
and she apparently the uptick in voter registration shot through the roof. Good on, I mean, hey, more registered voters, good for it. But I mean, then you think of the Dixie Chicks, and they came out political wise and crushed their career. So it'd be interesting to see how this goes, because you're saying this is building him up.
Does he need his music career at this point?
Not with Yeezy.
I like the plug he did too, talking about how much Yeezy's expanded and.
We call it the Yeezy effect.
The Yeezy
Johnny,
effect.
come on.
You're talking about somebody who went from like being an artist to like owning labels, owning like brands. Like it's a whole different animal when you're on that side of the money.
So at the end of the day, what I'm picking up is at the end of the day, this was a total business move. The whole thing was probably like.
Another thing is opening up industries, and we've got to get some tax breaks because we're making we got a speed factory in Atlanta, but the shoes are costing us $300, so it's costing us too much to make things. So we need some prototypes here so we can get people back working, so China can't just beat us and Vietnam can't beat us. You got Levi's, the greatest jeans company in the world, making their jeans in Vietnam. So we're going to need to get a few breaks to be able to have some places in my hometown of Chicago and the 2.7 million to the 9 million surrounding suburbs where we can create some factories. Now, I think it would be cool for them to be Trump factories because he's a master of industry. He's a builder. And I think it would be cool to have Yeezy ideation centers.
It's just funny seeing Kanye on one side of the desk and Trump on the other one.
It was funny.
It was like funny.
It was funny. So
Tell what you thought about his hat.
He looked like a t-ball player, like a little kid with the flat rim. Like he looked like a little kid wearing that thing. It was funny.
But all those photos of them hugging with the hat on and the whole thing, like literally, I don't even think that Trump said a paragraph.
He definitely didn't have to. I feel like in the brainwashing serum that he concocted. Okay, I'm gonna stop. People are gonna think I'm crazy.
I do think it is interesting the point you brought up though with the business, just because you're looking at Trump, businessman, political figure at the top of his game now. Now you're looking at Kanye, who's an artist, going political. Is he just a businessman taking after another businessman?
I feel like they're definitely using each other, like in some sort of aspect. Like Trump's using him to reach out to more
voters,
and Kanye's using him to sell more.
He's got balance out Tay.
Well, if Kanye can keep the black voter market, for what he does keep, then he will leverage that for Trump's reelection.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're definitely a benefit to each other.
Yeah.
Like,
so regardless of the points, which were really strange for me, at the end of the day, it was a business move. I think, my opinion.
I think it was good though.
Yeah, billions making billions.
I'm not even saying it's just good for business. I think it's good because if he's coming out and he's getting more voters out there, and and Taylor Swift is coming out and she's getting more voters, isn't that what we're constantly bitching about?
Yeah.
The fact that
30%,
40% max of registered voters are going out to vote.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see over the next month or so, like how this all plays out.
I'm still gonna listen to Jesus Walks. I like that song.
Isn't that the one that was in Jarhead?
Jarhead.
Yeah.
Them bullets, they hurt. It gets shot it wasn't in the movie, but it was in a commercial.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. If you like this, hit the like button, then subscribe, and then share it with a friend. And let us know if you want old Errol to come back on the show.
Who the fuck's that guy?
Hopefully you guys strike conversation from it.
Yeah.
Right? With each other.
Yeah.
Your friends, your family, and don't argue.
And you
So-
can read
Discuss.
Johnny's super special blog. It's like an
What is
underground.
Super special.
It's kind of an underground sort of thing, so you might have to send you the link privately.
Check everything out below.
I tried.
We've got
I
all the
tried.
links. We've got all the links below. Oh, Excommunicated Warriors out. Give that a shot. We'll link that below as well. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
I'm just giving you shit. Because I actually read them. Like,
We at war. We at war with terrorism, racism, but most of all, we at war with ourselves. God show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down.